Tree.
Yeah.
Maybe that's good.
Yeah.
So your plan was?
Yeah, before when I did a performance in an oak tree, I did it with the concept of epigenetics and eugenics. And eugenics is the old genetic research stemming from Darwinism, so it's a very old science. And epigenetics is the newest science when it comes to genetics. So it's maybe 10 years old, a little bit older, but it's actually some Swedish scientists finding out that you can inherit things up to 4 generations and it gets embedded in your genes. And it's things that you have experienced or things that you have eaten that change in your genes.
Is this like when people experience trauma and they can pass it on to another generation?
Probably, yeah.
Yeah.
For example, starvation, they found it out in starvation. And they had really good records of the food supply and so on during that time and how long people were living. And then they could see, like, if one generation was starving, the next generation also took up nutrition better than the other generations and so on. And if you were not starving, then that would fade away during 4 generations.
Okay.
As I understand. But then I connected this with migration also, because we were sitting in Värtahamn, and a special location I was doing the performance is this transit zone from Sweden to Finland.
Okay.
So there's a lot of immigrants have been walking there, just past us.
That's where you get the ferry to Finland, is it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
One of them we have.
And so my point was a little bit like eugenics has the notion that you have to separate the good and bad people. How you're selecting your genes to continue is based on who you're gonna mate, and if you're mating someone with bad traits, you're gonna diminish your own genetic information, kind of. And so it leads to racism and sexism and stuff like that. And I think that epigenetics in some ways cancels out a little bit of the knowledge they used in eugenics, because eugenics was also Sweden were world leading in this kind of school of thought, and also it led to the Nazis. The Nazis loved the eugenics concept, but it was all over. It was in the States, and it was in Sweden, and it was in Germany. So everybody had this in their countries. But then epigenetics says that even our genes can change. So we're not really sure anymore if it's inherited or experienced.
Yeah.
So you can't really
Well,
tell anymore.
we know it's a combination. Maybe it's not the only experience.
No, it's probably a combination,
Yeah.
but nobody knows how much what is what anymore. So we know that the human being is very, very plastic. I mean, you can change a lot during your lifetime, and even pass that change over to people. So that's very interesting, I thought. And then the first eugenics conference, like 1920, had an oak tree as a symbol.
Oh, okay.
And Darwin's son participated. I think it was his son. And so it's connected to Darwinism. And they had this, all the branches, all the roots of the tree were all the sciences coming together, like psychology, I don't know, different kind of geneticism and I don't know, all the different sciences that would make the human race stronger, and that would lead to a strong stem of your people. So if you're using science, you can be stronger as a genetic group. And then it had all these branches and all these leaves leading out to nice prosperity in the future. Prosperity. So I thought the oak tree was used in a really interesting way there as a symbol. And also it has this connection with all this old mythology about the Druids and in south of Sweden where I lived, they had this every time a child was born, I think they were dragging them through a hole in an oak tree.
Okay.
And sometimes they were putting a nail in the oak with the tree of life, the placenta,
Okay.
in the woman's womb where the child has
Mm.
they nailed it to the tree. So it has all these connotations on it. But for this performance I thought to do a little bit more like druidic, ritualistic thing.
Yeah.
But it could be good to combine it with your little bit more like scientific survey over the
Yeah,
subject.
mine's a mixture of like folklore and then linguistics with the origins of the word oak as well, that it's the Indo-European root is found in various different European languages, like all the Celtic languages. So it depends. I could have a script and I could read and then you perform, or I don't know.
Yeah, something.
Yeah.
The oak up there is actually hollow, and I read that the oak was connected to female spirit. So I thought maybe if you would want to, you could stand inside the oak while you're reading.
Okay, yeah, I'd love that.
Because
Yeah.
it's really nice, you could really stand inside.
Yeah, it's actually, last time I was here I stood inside it and it was strange to be inside a tree, but
You
Yeah.
were trying.
it was nice.
Yeah.
Nice feeling. Like wearing a giant coat of wood.
Yeah. And it's actually alive also.
Mm.
It looks very old and dead, but it has branches that is alive.
Yeah.
I love that oak.
But you can't see that now, this time of year. Can you?
It's soon. I know.
Yeah.
Yeah, it should be soon.